There we go.
Good morning, everyone. We're just trying to get a couple of board people online. So we'll be with you in just a minute. Any council people, Mr. Bay?
Yes, I do see Council President Blaine Griffin online and his assistant is here as well.
Excellent. Oh, there you are. Do you want to come forward? Is he coming down or coming up? Or are you here?
He's online and I'm just here.
Okay, all right. Do you want to come to the table? Because
Sure.
we'll take you first. We'll have to go through all of our stuff, but you might as well get yourself comfortable. I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those too. I'm okay. Oh, that's over. Is there a time you eat something? Should I just go through you? Yes. Want me to stop down when we're done? Oh, I'm hyper hygienic. Thank you. Feeling better?
A little bit, still not 100%.
No, you're still a little congested.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and make this announcement while we're waiting for people. As it regards the agenda, as a courtesy to our city council members, when they are present, we move their cases to the top of the agenda. And we have Council President Griffin, his assistant with us, and the council is online as well. So we will be beginning our day today with calendar numbers 24-166 through 169. No, that's wrong. Those are Casey's. We'll begin with 24-161 and then 163. Correct, you saying for both? And we do have a form if you wanted to go ahead and move forward. Yeah, we do have a form, don't we? Sure. Lovely, let's go ahead. We'll begin today. Let me call this to order. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals for this Monday, October 14th. We are hybrid today, which means we are both online and in person. And we'll begin with our secretary, Ms. Kukla, with the reading of the preamble.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, October 14th. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rule of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raised hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located in the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We provided the link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We've also received emails from those who provided written comment on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Do you want to call the roll, please?
Sure. Ms. Roca. Present. Ms. Holzer.
Present.
Ms. Wilson.
Present.
What did you say?
And Mr. Madison is running late. And Ms.
I am here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 4 members.
Super.
And Secretary, can you also forward the assignment? I'm sorry, we need assignments, so.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, Madam Chair, we do not have any withdrawals or postponements this morning.
That was going to be my next question. What you're sending the link to Ms. Roca, so perfect. All right, so no postponements, no withdrawals. So we will begin then with calendar number 24-161.
Would you like us to read the order and would you like us to do that today?
Yeah, let's do that today. I hope that Mr. Madison would be able to do that, but since he's not here, we'll move forward on that. You want to do that?
Absolutely.
All right, super.
We'd like to read these rules in order this morning before we start the hearing. The order of the hearing is as follows. Number 1, the description of the case will be read into the record. Number 2, any person wishing to speak on our matter will be sworn in. Number 3, project team will present their proposal. Number 4, board members will have the opportunity to ask questions. Number 5, those in favor of the project will have the opportunity to speak. Number 6, those in opposition of the project will have the opportunity to speak. Number 7, secretary will read any written correspondence. Number 8, city planning commission will give their recommendation. Number 9, council member will present if present. Number 10, project team may respond to any comments made by the other parties. Number 11, board members may ask additional questions or suggest conditions. Number 12, a motion will be made and seconded. And number 13, the secretary will call the roll. That's also, we'd like you to note the rules of the hearing are as follows. Number 1, please speak clearly for the record. We do have a court recorder. Number 2, do not speak unless recognized by the chair. Number 3, all conversations must go through the chair. No back and forth conversation. Hold your comment until the speaker is done speaking. And number 5, at the request of the chair, comments may be limited to 2 minutes. Thank you. And Mr. Madison has joined us at the table this morning, and we have 5 members for this morning.
Okay, excellent. This is an exciting day. We have 5 members on the board. Where Mr. Madison is our new member. He might want to switch his nameplate around for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Mr. Madison is our newest member. The order of hearing and the rules of the hearing that were just read is something that we're just starting today so that those that are with us in person and online have a better sense of how the process of the meetings go, sort of wayfaring, if you will, through the meeting. So I'm going to ask our Ms. Mary you'll introduce yourself, your role here, please,
Mary Corneli, legal counsel for the board.
and Mr. Bay, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yep. Hello, my name is Xavier Bay. I'm a representative from the city planning.
Okay, do we have, Ms. Leonard on?
We do.
All right, Ms. Leonard, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning. My name is Shannon Leonard. I'm the Chief Zoning Administrator and Zoning Manager.
Okay, super, thank you. I think it's helpful to everyone, online and in person, those that are making testimony, and here for cases, so that you know who the players are at the table, so that that helps you, again, sort of wade through the meeting. Okay, so we'll go to 24-161, please.
Do you need legal description after? I've lost the order.
We haven't read the case yet.
Thank you. It's my COVID.
It's
my
new.
COVID brain.
It's your code, yes, it is. It's, you know, it happens. It's Monday and it's pouring rain.
Our first case is calendar number 24-161. This is at 2881 East 91st Street. City of Cleveland owner proposes to install 726 linear feet of 6-foot tall chain link fence in the C1 multifamily residential district. The owner appeals relief from restricted application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Host. I'll go ahead and swear in all who are present for this matter. Is there anyone in the room who's present for this matter?
We have 2 people at the table, Ms. Wilson.
Perfect. I'll start with you all in the room. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please state your name, spell your name, give your address, and reply with "I do." I'll start with the white shirt.
Beth Mackey, City of Cleveland Demolition Bureau. MACKEY, and I do. Lavita Parker, Executive Assistant to Council President Lane A. Griffin, to Cleveland City Council, and I do.
Thank you. Is there anyone online wishing to speak in this matter? I see Councilman, are you present for this matter? Okay, go ahead and swear in, please.
Griffin. Hello?
We can hear you, sir. You just need to say I do and state
Okay,
your name, spell your name, and give us the address.
Griffin, GRIFFI.
Okay, you were a little choppy. Did I hear you say "I do"?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Councilman. Is there anyone else on the line wishing to speak in this matter? All right, hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Super, okay. History of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. There are no variances on file for this address. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1902, a permit was issued to erect a storage addition. 1923, a permit was issued to relocate an office on the address. 1964, a permit was issued to erect a 2-story block addition for barrel storage. And then, Madam Chair, in the recent history, you see that in 2021, there was a board up permit issued, as well as in 2022. And then I think the most pertinent information is that a demolition was applied for in June of this year. I'm not sure if it's complete yet. The status says construction pending. So I think that's all that I have, Madam Chair, to share. Thank you.
Sure, great. Okay, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. All right, ladies, who's going to be a spokesperson?
The Demolition Bureau recently completed the full demolition of this site. It's complete. That was done, due to, serious nuisance issues at the site and because of, regular resident complaints for dumping at the site, trespassing at the site. Part of our demolition efforts with contractor was to erect a 6-foot chain link fence to serve a variety of reasons. One, foremost, is to prevent further dumping at the site. We spent over $30,000 cleaning the site of various debris, trash. The city's staff have responded, but then also to prevent further dumping and also access to the rail line that is running along the property. So that is our request. We spent so much money total on the site that we would like to erect a fence to make sure it retains the clean status that we've provided to the community.
Okay. And we're looking at just a standard 6-foot chain link,
Correct.
regular aluminum,
Correct.
not coated,
Correct.
not black,
No.
just silver.
Yes.
No, barbed wire
No.
or any deterrent mounted at the top. Okay. Okay. All right. When was the demo complete?
This past summer, so summer of 24.
Okay. All right. Would you like to make comment?
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that Council President, on behalf of Council President Blaine, we're going to support this fencing of this project.
Yes.
All right. And it sounds like, Council President, you'd like to make your comment now as well?
Yes, I support the project. I apologize. I have Ms. Parker there because I do have to jump off, but I do support this zoning variance.
Okay, super. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right. People he's in his car, isn't he? So all of a sudden he was stuck in traffic. All right, super. All right, we'll go down the line. Mr. Madison, question?
No questions.
Okay, Ms. Holzer,
No, no questions.
Ms. Roca?
Active for one. Very or very?
Very.
Active, yeah, okay, thank you.
So that lends even more importance to it. Ms. Wilson, we don't want to leave you out.
Thank you for including me, Madam Chair. I'm all set at this time.
All right, super. Hearing no further questions or comments, I think this is fairly straightforward. Given the situation of the lot, the extensive expenditures by the city for its upkeep, the fact that the demolition has been complete, so there is no access to the property issues that the fence would impede. I'll entertain a motion.
Judge, do you want to have Mr. Bay or?
Mr. Bay? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Xavier Bay representing city planning. Typically, we wouldn't recommend approval for these nature of fences, but particularly for this situation, we understand the need for the security fence. So we recommend approval.
Okay, great. All right. You weren't eager to chime in, so I sort of slid past. So thank you, Ms. Rocco. All right. So that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
Here, I move that we approve calendar number 24-161 based on the testimony that we heard today.
Super. I'll take a second, please.
Madam Chair, Board Member Polter, I second.
All right, Ms. Holzer has the second. We call the vote, Ms. Coupon?
Sure. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Oldenburg?
Yes.
Ms. Rotha? Yes. Ms. Day?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-161 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We will send you a letter, but you can contact our office next Wednesday for further instructions.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, since we have the council with us, we'll move on to calendar number 24-163.
Our next case is calendar number 24-163. This is at 2202 East 80th Street. Corlett Grant, owner, proposes to establish a group home for 8 people in a B12 family residential district The owner appeals to relief from a strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances stated on the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. With that, I will hand over to Ms. Wilson. for review.
Let's hold up one second, Ms. Wilson.
Okay.
What case are you here for?
2193 East 80th Street.
What is it?
2193 East 80th Street.
East
Oh, so
80th.
there may be neighbors for this.
Yeah. Yeah, are you neighbors for this case on East 80th? Your neighbors, okay. All right, so we're gonna ask you then to pull your chairs off. Are you able to, do you both want to speak, or does someone want to take your little traffic person out into the hall?
Cause he went outside.
Yeah, that's fine,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. So,
because there's a place to sit out there, so I think it might be more conducive to.
por favor.
We'll just give them a moment to get situated. That's okay, no problem. We just want to keep him happy. Pull up a chair on him and join us at the table. Yeah, right up here. Super, okay. All right. All right, where are we? History of the property?
I think we were doing.
Swearing in right now.
Swearing.
Swearing in, okay, super,
Yeah.
thanks. That's right. Go ahead, Ms. Wilson.
All right, I will go ahead and swear in everyone who is present for this matter. I'll start with the people in the room. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do. State your name, spell your name, and give your address. And I will start with what I see as a gray hoodie.
Reed, RODREED, I do.
Levita Parker, last name Parker, I do.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone online wishing to speak in this matter?
1 second, we have, what's your,
Oh, there's more, sorry.
yeah,
I do
Table.
AMARO.
AMARO. And what's your first name?
GLORR
Gloria.
MER.
Okay. Super. Okay, are you here for this case as well? All right, we have more people here, Ms. Wilson, so,
Okay,
We-
did that last person state I do? I think I heard the name.
yeah,
but I-
she
did
did,
state I do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
yes. Yeah, okay, we have 3 more people that are just coming up here.
Okay,
So did you all say I do?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet, all right. All right, Ms. Wilson, go ahead, proceed.
all right. I will administer the oath again to the additional 3 people. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address. Why don't we start with the person in the black hat first?
I do. Hobart Hewson, HOBARTHUSON. I reside at 2182 East 80th Street.
Excellent,
Okay.
you know?
I affirm. My name is Leita, Leita Carter. I live at 2190 East 80th Street.
Super. You ma'am?
I am Cynthia Waters. The owner, yeah, of 2190 East Street.
Okay, super.
Did you say I do mean?
Yes.
She did.
Mhm, Yep. All right, does that conclude everyone in the room, Madam Chair?
That is everyone in the room except for staff at this point. So, yes.
Okay. Is there anyone online wishing to speak in this matter?
I do. Blaine A. Griffin, BLAINE GRIFFIN, 601 Lakeside Avenue.
Perfect, thank you so much. Anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter? All right, hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay, super. Thank you. I'm not sure if.
Reverend Helen.
I believe Brad Reed at the table is.
Oh, okay.
applicant.
Yes.
You are the applicant.
Yes.
And I have Corlette Grant, on the agenda as the name.
She's not here, I'm here in place of her.
Okay. And you have an affidavit signed. Do we have we received that affidavit, Ms.
I don't
Pluto?
see it in the file. Did you send one to us?
No, I gave it to Ms. Jones.
Okay. Oh, yes, I apologize.
Okay, great. All right, we just need to make sure we have that so you can officially speak on behalf of the appellant. All right,
Great, ready for the history.
right for the history.
Madam Chair, there's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1904, a permit was issued to erect a dwelling. 1919, a permit was issued to erect a garage. In 1989, a permit was issued to erect a chain link fence. And 1982, a permit was issued to rehab a dwelling. And then in the more recent history, Madam Chair, we don't see anything that's relevant. Thank you.
Okay, super. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create an unnecessary hardship particular to the property such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Reed, since you're speaking on behalf of the appellant, do you want to share with us what your relationship is?
I am the contractor
Okay,
who will operate the group home.
okay,
Oversee it. My agency, Martin Ray, to live and oversee it.
okay. What's the name of the agency?
A more excellent way to live.
Okay. So you're gonna be leasing the property?
Yes.
Okay. Have you operated other group homes?
No, this is the first one. I worked with them, but I never, I did oversee some, but there wasn't one that I was the agency owned it. And I was the one who made sure we had hired the staff.
Okay, so you were sort of in an HR managerial function, working for someone else who was managing
Yes.
the agency. And how long have you done that?
About 6 years.
6 years, okay, so some experience. Okay, good. All right, so go ahead and tell us what you want to do specifically as it relates to the variance that you're seeking.
So, the variance that we're seeking is to be able to house 8 people in the house.
Okay,
What we want to do is, there has been an issue for a while with dealing with housing. Most of the group homes, you are somebody they nasty, they're nuisance to the community. So in talking with Bill Hill down at the Adams Board, they're now moving with the state, I believe January the 1st of 25. They're trying to get it to where now all the group homes have to be licensed and certified by the state of Ohio and overseen by the Adams Board. So
okay,
we can alleviate some of this issues where people are just doing whatever.
right,
And so we have about 750 to 800 of these houses throughout the state of Ohio. I believe, I haven't checked, I didn't have time, but I just went to the Ward 6 meeting and met Mr. Griffin and Ms. Parker there. And so I got some information I'm trying to collect for them. And also I want to go talk to Ms. Vanderveer over at Fairfax Corporation. We want to be probably first in the community to show them how to properly have a group home.
okay,
Because the people we're housing, one, you gotta work or you're going to school. You can't have there's no drugs and alcohol. It's not co-ed, it's men only. There's no overnight guests. There's a whole host of rules that you gotta get from the state. Because in order to get licensed, you gotta meet all those requirements. You have to meet all the state, city, and the county requirements, or you get no money. And if there's a problem, what it does is allows the community to be able to have somebody they can complain to this house not being ran right. And we have to be open for pop-in, inspections. So they can come out and if you're not up to par, they pull your license. They pull your license, you get no money. So that you can't just do whatever and however. So that is what we want to do because we want to be able, we're working with people with mental health issues. They may be depressed, they're dealing with anxiety. And so that area is great because we have Cleveland Clinic that we're working to partner with to get some training for them. The Magnolia Clubhouse at the Case West Reserve University, they teach them different job skills, how to be chefs and those things. So they have a bus line, the Cedar bus is there. And so to be able to be there. So our job is to teach them how to live, how to be a part of the community, and how to, I believe disabilities don't disqualify. So just because maybe you're not able to do math like everybody else, you are still able to get a job and hold down, work and be a part of the community. Right? So that's what we want to do there.
So talk to us about the demographics of this population that you are hoping to have.
So we're looking for 25 to 55 years of age. They have to be mobile, so we're not doing any wheelchairs, we're not doing any, you have to be able to move on your own.
So they have to be completely ambulatory
Absolutely.
and able to self-care.
Right.
Okay.
So when it comes to self-care, our job, when it says personal care, we make sure that you're making doctor's appointments, that you're doing the things you need to do that might be challenging for you.
Okay.
But as far as baths and all that, absolutely. Washing clothes, absolutely. Cleaning house, absolutely. Cutting the grass, all those things, teach them how to do that. Our goal, hopefully, is to be able, one day they'll be able to move out into their own apartment. And so they have the skill, they won't be disconnected, you'll still have a caseworker with you.
Right.
But that's what our hope is.
Okay. So they should be able to, your goal is to get them completely to have life skills so that they can be fully functional.
Yes.
What gender are you talking about?
Yes.
Males only? Okay. And you're talking about mental health. Is this mental health only, or are we talking about anyone who might have substance abuse issues? Okay, mental health only, okay. History of any incarcerations or
No criminal background.
no criminal background, okay. And we're gonna have, are you gonna be preparing and serving them meals, or is that gonna be, okay, so you're doing that. And what about dispensing of meds?
We do, but so I don't wanna see anybody, so when you're passing meds, that's a nurse there, which we will have a nurse visiting.
Right,
But these people have their own meds that they'll get from the doctor, but when you bring it in, we do lock it down.
okay, you
And
lock
then
it down,
we monitor to make sure, okay, when you medicine, you're supposed to take two, take your two, when you log it, everything got to be logged.
Okay.
Don't audit that log.
all right,
So we log the medication in.
all right, talk to us about staffing.
All the staffing is trained and certified by the state of Ohio, including background checks. Everything we need to be able to work in-house, everybody. If you're talking to a client, you have to be licensed, you have to be trained by the state to be able to do it.
All right, and how many staff and how many shifts?
It'll be 3 shifts, so we have someone there 24 hours a day. There is a total of 5 people that'll be on staff.
Okay,
And then periodically, I can't tell you for sure how often they come in and out, because OMAS and Adamsburg is at will. So there's no, they may tell you, hey, we're gonna schedule your audit on January 25th.
right,
But we have to be prepared that if they just come in, they got a right to come out, they're gonna say, hey, we're here from the state, we need to see your records. We gotta give them to you.
right, okay, all right. Do you want to make comments at this point?
Yes. Wanted to say, and we have Council President Griffin, that Council President do not support this project. Reason being is that we have too many group homes in that area.
All right, okay. Mr. Bay, that raises the question, what's our saturation in this area?
This particular site is not within 1,000 feet of another residential facility. This map isn't too far of a citywide view, but it's just a neighborhood view of the street showing you that there's not any buffers around this area.
Okay,
I can give you an exact distance in a minute here. Let me just look up.
Madam Chair, while we're doing that, can we move the microphone a little bit closer to the speakers? I can hear, but it's a little difficult to hear them.
sure, I think we should happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer.
Ms. Faith,
Yes,
I step off, but Ms. Parker has said my sentiments. I also want to recognize that the residents there has not been a thorough community meeting. I have
Right.
recommended to the owner that he has something very specific. I cannot support this with residents that have already been complaining about illegally operating group homes. So this area has a proliferation of a lot of group homes, and I appreciate owners, willingness to try to do this the right way. I would have strongly recommended that he had a conversation or a meeting with the people who live directly adjacent to it, because we have already had a tremendous amount of problems with illegally operated group homes proliferating that area and playing loud music, selling drugs, having a lot of other problems over there. So I'm actually even concerned about the residents that this gentleman is trying to serve in that area, because quite frankly, we've had a huge problem with these type of group homes in that short block area between East 79th and East 83rd. So I can't support it at this time, but Ms. Parker will represent me the rest of the way, okay?
super. Thank you, Mr. Griffin. And I appreciate that we've had a lot of group homes before us, and so we understand your sentiments. So thank you for that. Okay, so we've had that. He's gonna exit the call, I see. All right. Okay, so, all right, let's go to you, ma'am. Do you want to make your statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your name again, Madam Chair? My name is Gloria May Amaro.
Gloria Amaro, Amaro.
We buy the property together, my husband and me.
Yes,
His name is David Diaz.
okay. David Diaz.
Yes.
Her husband is David Diaz. Got that? Okay.
I try to do my best because I speak Spanish.
That's right, and I apologize, I can pretty much only ask for beer and where's the bathroom, so I can't do much to translate, so.
Okay. I don't know when we buy the house. I don't remember very well. Like 3 years, around 3 years ago. And at the first time, we made a big mistake. And we tried to sell the property for a long time, but nobody wanted the property. And the last year, we think we sell the property. I have the papers here.
Okay. All right, you came
And-
prepared.
Yes.
Yes.
But this year, I was surprised because the house is still by my name, by my husband's name, and we think we already finished with the problem. And but a few days ago, I bring the house to the Cleveland Land Bank.
Okay.
The last Thursday, we signed the papers. I have the paper here. Because we try, sell the house and everything, but was impossible. And I have the evidence. I think we don't have the house. I think we don't have more problem, but the house is still by my name and by his name.
And so you're adjacent to this property then, right?
Ah,
Oh, your house is close to this house?
uh, I don't know what to say. We are the owners of the property at the 2193 East.
Okay, all right, so you are, all right,
Yeah,
okay,
yes, but I have the papers of that fee. I do
okay.
with the Cleveland Bank of Land.
Okay, super. Mr. Bay? Who's our city planner for this area?
Kim Scott,
All right, and she was on. I'd very much like to connect her with Miss Amaro, if we could, please. And if we can get someone who speaks Spanish, I think that would expedite the process for them. I'd really like to let her have a better understanding of what's going on. Okay? Ms. Morrow, we're gonna connect you with the city planner for your area, okay? The city planner is someone who helps work and plan the neighborhood. And then we're also gonna try and connect you with someone in the department who's Spanish speaking to help you navigate this, all right? So you have a better understanding of what's going on, okay? And if you can help through your office, sure, that would be appreciated. Because I feel like we need to offer some assistance, okay? All right. Since I'm not fluent at all anymore, 4 years, traveled to Spain, Mexico, and, you know, I can't do conversational, so, all right. Okay, so we're gonna connect you with someone to help you navigate this situation. And it sounds to me like this would be a hardship, a further hardship to you with what you have going on. All right. Let's go to you. It's Houston?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Houston.
Like the councilman said, I appreciate what these guys are trying to do and the way they're going about it, trying to do it legally.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we just got finished with a disastrous multi-tenant, one house away from their house. It's 8 to 10 individual tenants. It evolved into drug use and violence, fighting with neighbors. I'm not ready for another.
Yeah, I get it.
And there's much less populated streets with equally fine houses in the Brown multifamily area from 79th all the way to probably 65th or something like that. I think for a little more.
Understood. Yep.
Not Complex Street. No.
All right. Ms. Carter?
Yes, I've been on the street since I was born. Homes just moved over, but I have dealt with 1, 2, 3 of them. As Mr. Blaine Griffin had spoken on, I was mainly the one emailing him and talking to him about the neighbors and what we had to endure over there. I just want peace.
Yep.
One piece. I don't even really want any new neighbors. Because people come and they don't respect your space or your time or your area at all. We have children on the street for one. We ain't have too many mental people over there. It was already an incident, the house that he's talking about that was directly next door to me. Man in the window with his private out, looking at my grandkids.
Okay.
Window.
All right.
So I can't. I'm emotional right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. I apologize for the thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Waters?
Well, I've been over there. My husband bought that house 1975. So I have seen a tremendous change on that street. The way the people take care of your houses and so what it looks like now. I don't want a house with a bunch of men on that street. I don't care who's looking at them, checking them. I have great granddaughters that is living in that house. I don't want anything to happen to them.
Understood. Okay. Mr. Reed, it sounds like there hasn't been community meetings.
It has.
Okay.
And I did reach out.
Okay.
By the time I touched with them, we were about to leave for the year.
Yeah. Okay.
The one thing is, we have we have a long way to go before we put anybody in there anyway. Regardless of what happens here, I still would like to, now that I know there's a Fairfax Corporation, Councilman Griffin, with Ms. Parker, because I want us all to be in harmony.
Yes,
Because again, what we want to do is, I'm not just trying to establish one house. We're trying to clean up all of these houses. We're trying to get a state regulation that says, here's how this house is ran, when nobody gets in.
right.
Because the ultimate problem is for us, if we got a bunch of people who can't fend for themselves, they eat macaroni and cheese 3-4 times a day versus somebody who's really giving them a meal.
Right.
Who's sleeping on sheets that haven't been washed in 2-3 months. And this is unheard of. So we don't want to bogart our way into nowhere anything. We want to be able, everybody should be able to rest comfortable. I grew up in that neighborhood. I remember when you could walk from down to my house down by 43rd and Central, come up there with my friends up there. And that's what we want to go back to.
Okay,
You know, so it's not a bogart. You
okay,
know, I'm concerned. I got granddaughters and I want them safe too.
right.
So what I want to be able to do is be part of the community. So I'm not in a rush to say, oh, let's do it today and tomorrow we're throwing all these people in there, right? It's a matter of, can we come together? How do we make the community safe and comfortable for everybody? So that's that.
We get a lot of group homes, particularly in certain wards of the city. Your statement about what you want to do, your goals, how you want it to be regulated are far more professional than some of the others that we even see before us. So we appreciate that. The issue is that what we really like to see is a coordination between the council person for the ward, the Community Development Corporation, the CDC for the ward, community engagement and community support before you get to us. So there's where we are. We're gonna go to city planning. Mr. Bay, does Ms. Scott want to speak on behalf of city planning?
Let's see. I mean, she's online. I'm hoping to see what she has to say. But on the screen right now, I do have the existing group homes shown. The 1,000-foot buffer as well. So where my mouse is currently is where the proposed group home is. Currently the closest one on record is 2,700, about 2,700 feet to the south. At 8006 Townsend Avenue, which is right here. So the circle in the middle is more of a location. And then the 1,000-foot buffer is the outer ring.
Okay,
That's just to show you what you asked for.
excellent, super, that's great, yes. So what we have on the screen right now is what we call our saturation map. What you see in the darker gray circles are the existing group homes that are legal and that are known, okay? Doesn't necessarily reflect any that are operating that are not technically legal and not technically identified by the city. And so what we look for specifically is the 1,000-foot distance. Your particular house is outside of any overlap with any other. So that is a plus. But again, everything I just stated, with regard to having previous support from council, the CDC and the community, and having gone through a community meeting to get their support prior to coming before us is really what's at issue here. So we're gonna go to the board. I'll start with Ms. Roca.
Madam Chair, could I state one thing?
Yes.
Just for the record, I think this was read in the legal standard, but just to remind the board that, this would go with the life of the property.
Exactly.
Not the life, or not the tenant.
Right.
So it doesn't go away when the tenant leaves.
Right.
It stays with the property.
And Ms. Parker, if you would like make a note of that too for future reference, do you need a pen?
Yeah.
I'll slide mine over.
Oh, no.
Of course, that had to happen. Thank you, sir.
And I do have one.
I'm vertically challenged. I could never reach you. Thanks.
I do have a letter of opposition if you'd like me to read that.
Yeah, let's read it into the record. The fact that a variance, is attached to the property for the life of the property, as opposed to it being a variance for the group home for the duration of its operation.
And so only to the property owner.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
So that's a key. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
That is.
I've got this orthopedic shoe on my foot, so I can't stand up well. Okay, so go ahead, Ms. Kukla.
Thank you. This is from Bob Gallivan. Says he's the manager and part owner of a property located at 2197 East 80th Street. The property is deeded in the name of My Noor 70 LLC. I'm the manager of the entity. We are currently in the final stages of a major renovation of this project with an investment of close to $200,000. All of the work was permitted through the city. This is a two-family property that will be used as a rental property for annual leases. He is opposed to the variance as a boarding home. He believes there are one or two other homes of this nature on the block, one across the street from his property. Over the past year, he believes that there have been 2 overdoses at that unit, which is a concern for him. He is concerned that his tenants are most likely in the future to be families with children. There's been much attention given to the state of Cleveland's neighborhoods and the desire to improve the neighborhoods and homes to be attractive to families and eventually property owners that live and are invested in the neighborhoods. His renovation of the property will achieve one of those goals, to bring 2 families into the neighborhood. But having amounts to transient housing directly across the street does not bode well for his future tenants or improving the neighborhood. He asks respectfully that the request to change the use be denied. And that again is Robert F. Gallivan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have that read into the record.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go to questions. Ms. Roca?
Sure, thanks, Madam Chair. So, more of a statement than a question, but based on the letter you just read, the other circumstantial evidence we've heard here today, it appears as though there might be some illegal operation of group homes already happening on this block. So right now, the appellant is only seeking a variance to have 8 residents, whereby he would not need a variance if he had 5 residents, because he's not in the buffer zone that we normally.
Right.
He would normally seek a variance for. However, he might be in the buffer zone because we don't know about these other residential homes that are potentially operating illegally.
Correct.
To me, this is premature. I think that this is more of an enforcement issue to find out where are these group homes on the block, are they operating illegally? And then the board would have a better picture of whether he needs another variance or not.
Right.
At this point, I think this is premature to proceed. And furthermore, it sounds like there hasn't been a community meeting anyway. And the councilman's requested one, and the neighbors obviously want one. So I'm not prepared to move forward today with this.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Ms. Wilson.
I would echo Ms. Roca's comments, especially emphasis on the community meeting and sort of getting in line with the other people who live there. So I think if we address that, I would be more comfortable moving forward.
Okay, super. Mr. Manson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a statement to the residents here today. Thank you for just taking time to share just your own passion and genuine concern for the community, as well as to the developer, just for also sharing your want to improve. But I also echo the sentiments of my colleagues here.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. Yes. Go ahead, Ms. Olson.
I feel like all I can say is ditto to everything.
Okay, all right. Okay, folks. So, feeling that it's premature to proceed. So are you looking for a postponement?
Madam Chair, I would be seeking a postponement.
Yes.
To allow a community meeting, and then also for the city to, I don't know who enforces this, maybe Mr. Bay, I don't know, is it planning commission? Or somebody to go out there and find out how many illegally operating residential facilities are already there.
This might be something to go through your office as well. It sounds like the neighbors are very aware of illegal operating homes, so it might be worthwhile having a council person and a community meeting with the neighbors to identify the addresses that might be operating illegally, and then through some sort of process, determine if they are in fact illegal or legal, and then we're gonna have an enforcement problem or some sort of enforcement kind of situation. This gentleman, as I said, is coming before us with goals, and I always ask for a business plan, sir, because I feel if you're doing something like this, you should have a concrete business plan, which would include your community outreach plans, those sorts of things. And so I think what the board wishes to do today is to go ahead with a postponement, let him go through the process of meeting with your office and Mr. Griffin and the CDC and a regular community engagement. Let him have put together a nice presentation with his business plan, with his, I would get professionally drawn floor plans for the structure so that you have a good presentation. This is
Including the beds in each room and things of that nature.
Yes.
So how many people will be sleeping in each room? How many bathrooms are available for each resident, et cetera. We'll want to see that on the plans.
Okay, so, thank you, Ms. Rocco. So be as detailed as possible, because what we're looking for are the floor plans, and as Ms. Rocco noted, the number of beds in each room. My background is architecture and construction, so I'm gonna look at those plans. I'm gonna make sure that your space planning on the interior of the structure is adequate for proper movement of people inside the structure, above and beyond what the state is gonna require for you, okay? We've had a slew of these group homes come before us. And, so we're really looking for everyone to be more professional. And it's a business for you, and so you should be presenting it as such. Okay? And we want you to go through the proper channels with the city, the CDC, and the community members. All right? So we're gonna move to postpone.
Madam Chair, I do have one thing to state to the neighbors. I don't know, sorry if it's been stated already. They can make complaints through, is it 311?
Correct.
Sorry, thank you.
Yes,
Through
great.
the city's 311 process that's online, through the City of Cleveland website. I believe there may be a phone number on the website as well. They can also go downstairs to, or walk down to building housing and make a complaint as well.
Okay. Are y'all aware of the new 311?
No.
Okay, all right. So it looks like there's an opportunity to promote that a little bit more. Okay. As Ms. Kukla, our secretary, noted, the city has instituted a 311 call. So, it is sort of, a fast track, if you will, to be able to call in and make complaints or whatever issue you might have. Okay, and they filter it out accordingly to the, correct departments. Okay, Mr. Banks?
Here it is 311. The phone number is actually 311. I apologize. It's
So it's like nine.
like a 911.
Yeah, you said 311.
I'm sorry. I did state that I didn't know the phone number.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's 311. Yeah, right? Yes.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I'd also like to just help the neighbors. It's really helpful if you provide the address of said property. It's difficult for us to do any type of follow-up. We don't
Right.
have a specific address to address these concerns.
Exactly. And I think also too, if you're going to make a complaint, most everyone has cell phones these days, so you can snap a quick pic. And that's always good to have. So if you need to submit anything, online, or in person, then you have some visual documentation that is also, helpful to us. Okay? Anything else? Anyone in the room have other further comment? Okay? All right, super. Again, as Mr. Madison said, he jumped me to it. But we always appreciate when the community comes in. And we appreciate your time and thank you very much. And we're gonna get you somebody to help sort that out for you. Okay? All right, so what date do we have to move forward?
So are we thinking 30 or 60 days?
I would give 60. Yes, absolutely 60.
That puts us in the middle of December.
Okay.
So December 16th?
All right. Do we think we can make this happen by December 16th? Okay, all right, we'll go with that. All right, calendar number 24-163 is postponed to December 16th with a lengthy to-do list.
Same time?
Yeah, we always meet on Monday and we start at 9:30.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thanks, everyone. I'll be down at
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, folks. Have a great day. Stay warm. And your son's adorable.
It's more than fishy. He was always.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
They grow very fast.
Yeah. Thank you. Did we get her the information? Miss
Oh,
Morrow?
Yes.
Miss Morrow, if you'll see Mr. Bay, he'll give you the contact information for who we want you to talk to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
Okay, have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you for listening.
All right, any other council people online?
Madam Chair, I do not see any other council person.
Okay, let's loop back to the top of the agenda then. So 24-158.
Our next case is calendar number 24-158. This is at 2380 East 40th Street. It's an appeal from the Division of Park Maintenance Properties. Oh, that is just, I can't talk this morning. It's an administrative. It was filed on August 28, 2024. Transform Properties LLC owner appeals under the authority of section 76-6 of the Charter of the City of Cleveland and section 329.02D of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances from the decision on July 23rd, 2024 of the hearing officer to deny the request to overturn invoice WO-7010-1547590 regarding abating nuisances, parenthetically mowing. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will go ahead and swear in all who are present for this matter today. So I don't see anyone at the table. Is there anyone in the room present for this?
The room is empty except for staff. Do we have?
Okay, anyone online present for this matter?
Natasha Brewster.
Okay, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. Natasha Brewster, Natasha, last name B as in Bob, Ruister, address 3000 Woodhill Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44105.
Okay, thank you. I do see one other hand. Scott, are you here for this matter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, can I have you state your name, spell your name, and give your address?
Scott Siegelman, Scott, Siegelman. My address is 7728 Dorcas Street, Philadelphia, PA 19111.
Okay, thank you. I do see another hand. Looks like Ariel. Are you here for this matter?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead and swear in, please.
Ariel Kolk, ARIELLEKOLK, Department of Assessments and Licenses, City Hall.
Okay, and do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Perfect, thank you. Is there anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter? All right, hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. We'll go to legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is appealing an administrative decision of a hearing officer to uphold a parks maintenance and properties invoice. Standard of review is whether the administrative decision was illegal, arbitrary, capricious, unreasonable, or unsupported by the preponderance of substantial, reliable, and probative evidence. If the appellant fails to meet this burden, the administrative decision must be affirmed.
Super, thank you. Okay, Mr. Siegelman, tell us what's going on.
Sorry, I just muted it because there was some feedback coming off.
Okay,
I
you,
just,
you were muted briefly because there was some feedback, so, okay now?
okay.
Go ahead.
First, I'd like to ask, if I may, what evidence there is at all that this lawn was mowed by the city. The reason I say that is because there were 3 times that you'll notice in the information that I submitted, there were 3 times, actually 4 times, 3 times that I was given an invoice that the lawn was not mowed. And you'll notice from the pictures, if you could bring them up, that there is a very small lawn that is in front of my property. There's a driveway, and then just on the other side of that driveway is another rather large lawn. That other large lawn is enclosed by a fence on 3 sides, but it's connected to the driveway. However, that lawn is owned by the state. I was told by my manager that Ms. Bond, who lives on the other side of that lawn, that she would complain that the lawn wasn't mowed. And he actually mowed it several times. And then I told him to stop because we don't own it and I don't have to have it mowed. The city, as I mentioned, issued account after account that it wasn't mowed, and I protested on each one. All 3 of them, and then 2 of them were granted and 1 was denied. And when I requested why it was denied, I was refused any information of why it was denied. I then went to a hearing that Ms. Brewster wanted me to come in personally. So even though the Supreme Court of Ohio has as its standard that the city should provide that one could come online, Ms. Brewster refused and required me to come in, which I did. And then I discovered that the hearing involved just one person, which was Miss Brewster. So only she and I were in the room. And I mean, with all due respect, she was both the prosecutor and the judge and the jury. And the first thing she did was ask me what information additionally that I have. And I said, what information do you have that this lawn was mowed and was any different than the other 2 lawns? But she refused to give me any information and basically denied my request, which is why I'm here now. So I still don't know how anyone concludes that this tiny lawn in front of the house was mowed when my guy mowed it, and the other one wasn't. I'd also like to add that almost immediately after this meeting ended, I then received another invoice that the lawn wasn't mowed. And then I protested that and sent in 2 receipts showing that the lawn was mowed every 2 weeks. And then she granted that one. So basically we have 4 altogether and one's denied, and I don't know why. And I've been refused any information about why.
Okay.
For right now, I'm done. I may want to speak again if I may.
Yes, you'll have that opportunity. So, I'm looking at the paperwork, so, and, I guess I'll go to, our representatives from the city. Have we invoiced him for 4 different mowings, or is it one mowing that we've invoiced him 4 times or 3 times? Can you
No,
clarify
they're
that?
different. They are different invoices for different service dates
Okay.
and different years. It's not just for 2024. These are all different years. Over the years, he has been invoiced.
Okay, walk us through these dates and these different service dates, please.
Madam Chair.
Okay, you want me to start off with this one first that's in question?
What I'm gonna ask you to do first is, because you're identified as calling user 3, for the reporter, if you'll state your name before you make your statement for us.
Okay. Natasha Brewster, Protest Department.
Great, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, so the start off for the original protest was April 4th, 2004, that it was denied. As you see that the evidence was submitted on the back of the form, he states that see attached documentation and comments, which nothing was attached, and that I explained that to him in the hearing, just in case he brought that information for me to write it off. The other 3 that were written off, he sent in a documentation as he stated with the receipts or the contract that he sent in stating that it was already taken care of. We came on the off date that his landscaper came, so those we had to write off because we can't tell his lawn maintenance guides when he is supposed to service the property. As of for this charge on July 10th, 2023, he never sent in support and documentation, and it was denied for that reason. So when I sent out the denial letter, a hearing protest form was sent out with it. He sent me back a hearing request form on May 7th stating that he wanted an in-person hearing. He requested this. I did not request this. This is a form that he sent in to me to request a hearing in person. And that original protest hearing was for June 12, 2004 at 9 a.m. He contacted me on May 28th at 10:17 stating that he needed to reschedule because he wasn't able to make it to Cleveland, Ohio at that said and time and date. And I rescheduled it. It was sent out on May 7th. He called me again on June 27th at 3:04 stating that he never received the updated hearing date. And I asked him, did he want me to resend it out because it was sent out on May 7th when he requested the date. And he said no. The new date was supposed to take place on July 10th, 2024. He then called me on July 1st about 2:54 and said that he wanted another copy sent to him. I sent that copy out to him. And he called me again on July 2nd at 3:40 wanting another copy sent out, and I sent it out again at 4:00 that day. So when he came in for his actual hearing, his hearing was scheduled for 9:00 a.m. He got there at 9:21, interfering with someone else's hearing. He never called and stated that he was going to be late in attendance or he was stuck in traffic. So the security guard had brought him up because he was making a scene downstairs at the front desk. So the security stood outside of the hearing door to make sure everything was safe. And when I asked Mr. Siegelman, did he have any documentation on who serviced and maintained that property, he stated that the neighbor was calling on him and that was not the case. He wanted me to tell him that the neighbor was calling, making a complaint on his property, and the property was in violation. The neighbor didn't have anything to do with this case, and he screamed at me for about 10 minutes and left out without any documentation. I still gave him to that Friday after his hearing date to bring it by the close of business on the Friday the 12th, by the close of business at 4:30 p.m. And he never sent in that documentation, so we wouldn't be here today. And by him not sending in by Friday, another letter was sent out to him on July 23rd, 2024, stating that the next step will be to the Board of Zoning and Appeal, and he never contacted me or anything about any more documentation. So the latest documentation that he sent in, as he stated, he did send in the receipts. That's why that charge was rescinded. So all the 3 previous protests, he sent in that documentation. I don't know what made this one so different. I asked him when we were in the hearing, did he have that information? If he have a landscaper, he could have just gave me that information, because we could have again came on the off date from his schedule, and he never sent in that documentation. He was just stuck on that the neighbors around was calling, complaining about the property.
Okay. All right, Ms. Brewster, so at this particular point in time, how many invoices does Mr. Siegelman, are outstanding?
Just this one. He sent in the documentation for the other 3.
Okay. So, and that invoice, it looks like they're all $3.99, is that correct?
Yes, that is the exact price for every time the city of Cleveland comes to service his property. The price
Okay.
never changes.
So we are discussing one invoice of $3.99, that is the violation. And is this?
Correct.
So we're at $3.99 for the invoice for the violation.
Correct.
Okay. Is this for mowing of the front yard of the house? that we're
Correct.
looking
Mowing and
at
picking
in
up the debris.
Okay, and the picking up the debris. All right.
It wasn't for the vacant lot. The vacant lot that's attached to his property is indeed owned by the city of Cleveland. It's not owned by him, but that is not the property that's actually in question. The 2-family dwelling is his property that is in question, not the vacant lot that's attached to his property that in which he is not owned by him.
All right. Ms. Koch, did you have anything to add to the statement?
No, I don't. Just
Okay.
to confirm that there were 4 separate dates of service and 4 invoices.
Okay, but 3 of them have been taken care of, right?
Yes.
Okay, super. Mr. Bay, you have anything to add? It's.
City planning.
Yeah.
Interviews that.
Yeah, that is correct. Okay, all right, questions? Ms. Wilson, anything?
Yes, I would like to hear from Mr. Siegelman regarding the documentation. It's been said that you could have just sent in documentation and you never did. What's your position on that?
I sent in the documentation twice. She said she didn't receive it the first time. I then sent it in again, assuming that she received it. But when I got there, she said she had never received it. But I submitted it twice. And if she received my request for the meeting, it's hard for me to understand or believe that somehow the documentation got disconnected from the request. And if you look at what I sent, it's mowingdispute.pdf. You'll see that what was submitted. So it's hard for me to believe that anything was disconnected. I'd like to also comment on what several of the things that Ms. Brewster just said, besides the fact that the information was not submitted. She happened to mention that I requested a meeting in person. That's not true. It was stated on the form on the invoice, that I had to submit, a request to dispute the situation. I had to protest. So what I did was I filled out that protest. There was nothing there that said it had to be in person, so I did not request an in-person meeting. One of the things that came out in the hearing that I had with her is that she had the wrong zip code for me, which happened during that meeting. So that might be why I never received it, because the letter might have kept going to the wrong zip code that she had, even though the city does have the correct zip code. And interestingly, with respect to who maintained the property, she said that I didn't submit anything about it. So I said, well, I could tell you right now. And she refused to hear it, saying that anything that I submitted had to be notarized. And I looked over the paperwork, and there's nothing anywhere that says that by telling her who maintained the property, it had to be notarized, but she refused to even let me tell her who maintained the property. Also, she mentioned that there was something about her saying that I had until a certain date to submit more information. That was never part of that meeting. She never told me that. If the board would like to, I actually recorded the meeting that I had with her. So you can hear everything that was said, and you can find that she never told me anything, to my knowledge, about submitting other additional information. Another thing is that I've asked her numerous times, and I've asked now here, what evidence she has that the lawn was mowed. Are there any photos? Is there a witness? That one time it happened to have been my lawn that was mowed, and I still get no response. And I'd like to know also, which was not answered, why were the other two granted if in fact my lawn was the one that was mowed? Another thing is, let me mention one more thing. I did not constantly bring up about Paris Bond at that hearing, and if you would like me to submit the recording of that hearing, you'll find that that was not discussed.
Okay. Ms. Brewster, isn't it common practice for the crews to take photos after they're done?
Yes, they are. They are required to take before and after pictures when they are, to show it in violation and to show that it's been serviced to actually be able to charge the property.
Okay, do we have photos of the date of service in question that can
No, I
be
didn't get,
sent?
I have the photos. I didn't get the link until I was in a meeting on Friday that I just seen today when I was looking for the invite. But yes,
Okay,
I do have that documentation.
all right, so you are at this point able to send Mr. Siegelman the before and after photos, is that correct?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Were you talking to me?
All right, you are at this point able to send Mr. Siegelman the documentation, the photos?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, great. All right, Ms. Roca, we'll go to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it sounds like Ms. Brewster can send the before and after photos, so that issue will be addressed. First point. Second point, question to Mr. Siegelman. It seems to me that the only remaining issue is whether you have a receipt or not from your landscaping company that you mowed. The other invoices, you submitted something indicating that mowing had occurred and those have been resolved. So do you have documentation that you in fact mowed on this one service date or around the service date so that we can resolve this one invoice?
I would have to check my records. I don't recall offhand.
Okay.
That's the remaining issue. If you have a receipt, she sends you the pictures, I don't think we have an issue anymore.
Right.
May I ask if, anything, if I was ever sent any notice, about mowing the lawn, or if anything was ever,
Mr.
placed
Siegelman, I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but at this point, we just want to know if you have a receipt for this particular date of service that you can submit to
To the board, to us.
to the board for documentation.
The answer that I gave is that I am not sure, and that I would have to check my records.
So that would have been the same documentation that you sent to Ms. Brewster, right?
Correct, right?
It should be.
Okay, so can you just forward the same documentation that you sent to Ms. Brewster for our review?
What I sent to Ms. Brewster did not include that.
Okay, so am I understanding that you've never sent any proof to Ms. Brewster that this particular lawn has been mowed?
May I?
For
Is
this,
there any-
for this particular service date.
I don't know. I would have to check my records.
This is Natasha Brewster. I never received any documentation, nor have I received the documentation that you all have on screen. He never shared any of these documents with me.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Madison?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions at this time.
Ms. Holzer?
No, I think the resolution really is around whether or not documentation was sent in or not without.
So we have
And it wasn't.
applicant or the appellant stating that he needs to check his records to see if he has the record. Again, I don't know how we can rule on this because the standard is, did the city act in an illegal, arbitrary, capricious manner? And the appellant is telling us he doesn't know if he has the documentation of whether he mowed or not, or whether he sent that to the city or not. So I don't know how we can issue a rule.
And
May
also,
I?
I would like to add that this has been going on since May 7th, and it is now October, and he still haven't sent in the documentation to you nor me.
May I speak now?
One more question, Mr. Siegelman. Ms. Wilson, do you have anything else to add at this point?
Yeah, so I heard Mr. Siegelman, you said earlier that you sent documentation and somehow it got disconnected, which you find hard to believe. That was your statement at first. Now, am I hearing you say something different, which is you don't know whether you sent this information or not? Am I
If you-
confused, or are you saying two different things?
If you look at what I sent, it did not include, anything from a person, there was nothing, let me put it this way. There is no, I'm trying to say, can you look at, hold on a second, let me pull it up. Mowingdispute.pdf. What I sent was, comments
We have that.
as well as a picture. I didn't include any receipts from anyone. It so happened that the person who had been doing this, I would have to look and see it. I would have to go to my bank records to see about payment to this person, because at this point, I'm no longer involved with him. I have a dispute with him, and he has moved with no forwarding address and has changed his phone number. So I would have to actually look at my bank records to see that. But I did not include any receipt at that time. I would like to know also, Ms. Brewster says that she has photos that she can send. I would like to cross-examine a witness, if there are any witnesses who actually did that. I believe I have the right to cross-examination when I'm accused of something.
So.
And if not, I move to dismiss.
Madam Chair, so I would have to look further into the rules for administrative appeals to determine whether cross-examination of witnesses is an available remedy for him. It may be, but I don't even think that we need to get to that point.
No.
Because if Ms. Brewster has the photos in her possession now, which she has testified that she does, as the board, I think that we direct her to send those photos to Mr. Siegelman. If Mr. Siegelman has documentation indicating that the lawn was mowed, that he paid for it, that it was mowed when the city said it wasn't mowed, then we have a dispute.
Right. At this point, Mr. Siegelman, you have not submitted any proof that you or anyone on your behalf serviced the yard prior to the city having to service it for you.
I think that he is entitled to see the photos.
Yes, he is entitled to see the photos.
So I think the board should direct Ms. Brewster to send him the photos.
And we have asked her to do that.
But however, we need Mr. Siegelman to provide some evidence that he did in fact mow and that the city is wrong. They are not due this money because he mowed.
Okay.
Mr. Siegelman, I realize that this is really ramped up into a contentious situation for you with our department. All right?
One of the things
department that you're dealing with.
one of
But
the
here's the situation. Let me finish, please, sir.
Sure, and I'd like to speak after that.
I will let you do that.
Please go ahead.
This situation has ramped up between yourself and the department representative. As of this point, what you needed to do was to submit evidence. You could have taken care of this before you got here by just submitting evidence and receipts that you serviced the yard prior to them having to come and service it. You had 4 invoices, 3 of which were taken care of in that manner. You are stating to us today that you don't know if you have record of your yard being serviced, and you had made testimony that you are no longer in connection with the person who serviced your yard, that they have moved and you are in a no contact situation with them, and you need to go through your bank records. Sir, I'm sorry to say, but you should have done that as your due diligence before you came to this meeting.
May I speak now?
So we are here without your evidence. We have instructed our department, the city department, to send you the photographs so you will have evidence. But you have not submitted evidence on your own, and you didn't do your due diligence in getting that evidence prepared in advance of this hearing today.
I tend to agree with that, Madam Chair. Can we put the legal standard back on the screen, please?
Please.
Thank you.
Ms. Wilson, do you want to take this?
Sure, I am happy to take this.
Thank you.
So it looks like we've heard testimony from the department that they have followed the process of issuing an invoice. They did not receive anything in reply that would suggest that some landscaper was paid to mow the yard. And so based on that testimony, I am going to uphold the decision of the Department of Parks and Maintenance and Properties.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
May I speak yet?
Yes, you may, Mr. Siegelman, go ahead.
Okay, as a minor issue, I asked why the other 2 were granted and there was no response. But more importantly, the city is required to send me notice beforehand, before any action is done. And there was no such notice ever sent to me. I would ask Ms. Brewster if she ever posted any notice or if she ever mailed me any notice before requiring the city to to mow the lawn.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Siegelman. Ms. Brewster, do you have notice that was sent out to Mr. Siegelman prior to the service date?
The city of Cleveland does not send out notices for them having to service a property that's not owned by the city of Cleveland. We are not supposed to take care, we are not required to take care of private properties, but if it's in violation, ordinance 209 allow us to do so.
Do we have a violation notice that was issued to him?
The ordinance 209 is not issued personally, individually to each and every constituent that owns a city of Cleveland property.
Okay, go ahead. What?
It's in our packet, the notice, is, the annual legal notice is published in the Plain Dealer.
Okay.
To chapter 209 of the codified ordinances. So Mr. Siegelman, the law does not require you to receive personal notice. The notice, per the Cleveland codified ordinances is posted in the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
So, Mr. Siegelman, let me ask you this. You reside out of town, is that correct?
Correct.
And you have someone locally who's managing the property for you, correct?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. So you're out of town. The legal requirement is to have the notice published in the Plain Dealer, as Ms. Roca just stated. And so the public notice was fulfilled by that means.
I disagree.
You need to, sir, please read chapter 209 of the city's Cleveland codified ordinances, and then you can further understand what the law says.
I have read it, and I can quote it to you because I'm holding it as we speak.
Madam Chair, I've made a motion.
Yes, exactly, Ms. Wilson. We
I'm
have a
not
motion
done.
on the
I'm
floor.
not done. I'm not done.
Point of order, thank you, sir, but your time has exhausted at this moment. You've had
The
the
law,
opportunity.
I'm not done.
I apologize, but this is the hearing and there's standards in how we operate business. You're falling way outside of those.
Your understanding of the law is incorrect, and I will tell you how.
You have the right to appeal, sir.
Call to order.
You are refusing.
Call to order, Mr. Siegelman.
You are refusing.
Point of order, sir.
You are refusing.
On the floor, we're gonna call the vote. You call the vote, please.
Do we have a second?
We do not have a second.
Thank you. Ms. Roca?
Mr. Marcus
then.
He's second.
Oh, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Marcus?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-158 is denied. It'll be ratified next Monday and we will send the appellants a letter.
You will get, Mr. Siegelman, you will get the documentation from Ms. Brewster with the pictures. Let me just say that the board has 2 attorneys sitting on it. They are not practicing.
Operating as attorneys.
Right, they are not operating as attorneys, but they are well versed in the law. So your case has been ruled and we are moving on. All right, we're on to our BOZA bundle, I believe. All right.
Our next
24-166.
4 cases are calendars number 24-166. This is at 14214 Parkdale Avenue. Calendar number 24-167 at 3779 West 143rd Street. Calendar number 24-168 at 3779 West 143rd Street. And calendar number 24-169 at 3779 West 143rd Street. PPG Industries Ohio, Inc. owner proposes to install 8-foot tall ornamental fence, an 8-foot tall ornamental fence in a one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland codified ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, which for all 4 cases, it looks like there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'll go ahead and swear in all. has been raised online, so I will start with you. Looks like Austin Raymond. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and then give your address.
Austin Raymond, Raymond, Jefferson Puritas, West Park CDC, 14703 Puritas Ave, Cleveland, Ohio, 44135. I do.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll move to you next. I see your hand raised, Mr. Simon Martin.
Hi, I do. My name is Simon Martin, SIMONMARTIN, 714 Frost Road, Streetsboro, Ohio.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else online wishing to speak in this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll go ahead and swear you in.
I do. Jeff Eagleton, JEFFEAGLETON, 3800 West 143rd Street.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter? Looks like that's all we have, so I'll hand it back to you, Madam Chair.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll take history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found for the address of 14214 that a permit was issued to erect a 2-story dwelling and a 1-story garage. We did also, Madam Chair, find that this includes 2 addresses as they are across the street from each other. The other address is 3779 West 143rd Street. We did as well find that a dwelling was erected on the property in 1938 for that address. Then, Madam Chair, we do have two variances on this case, on these 2 addresses. In calendar number 82-53, a variance was granted to construct a 39-car parking lot adjacent to existing parking lot. The addresses for these were 14214 and 14218. And then in calendar 00-307, that was in November of 2000. This board granted a variance to erect 6-foot tall chain link fence on the property, on the addresses of 3779 through 3795.
That was 2003-17, was that case number?
Yes, 2003-07.
07.
And the other one was 82-53. That was in 1982.
So the 307 was for the 6-foot fence.
Correct.
Okay. So these parcels have already had a 6-foot fence around them? Is that correct?
At least for the addresses of 3779 and 3791. West 143rd.
Okay, great. And anything else for 168 and 169?
I would state also that there is an AKA of that on the building and housing application.
Okay.
For 3779, it does say 14214 Parkdale. So yes, I believe that this is for both addresses. I apologize for the confusion.
Super. All right.
Question for the other one?
Was the fencing for all 4 parcels originally?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
So there has been fencing for you.
Right, correct.
Legal standard, please.
All right, for all 4, Madam Chair, members of the Board of Health is requesting area variances from the fencing and screening requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Super, thank you. All right, gentlemen, good to see Mr. Raymond again, though not in person again. And who's going to be the spokesperson?
Madam, I'd like to give an initial opening remark and then turn it over to Simon, who's our project manager. That's all
Okay,
right.
Mr. Eagleton, before you speak, I just need to make sure that you state your name. That goes for you too, Mr. Martin. So go ahead and make your initial comments, and then we'll go to the next member of your project team.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jeff Eagleton. I'm the engineering manager here at the PPG Cleveland site. PPG is a global manufacturer of automotive coatings. Here at the site, that's what we focus on. The site has been here since 1907. PPG has continuously owned and operated the property since 1947. We have several hundred employees on our site. Directly across from our main entrance, there is an employee parking lot. Over the years, the wear and tear on the lot has increased. There are certain things in the lot that we need to address from both a fence damage, parking lot damage standpoint. And we're really trying to look at improving the aesthetics, improving the way that the lot looks, and then also improving the security for the employees that park in that lot. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Simon. Simon is a contract engineer that's the project manager for us on this project, to maybe go through some of the details of the project.
Super, thank you. Mr. Martin?
Hi, I'm Simon Martin. So what we are doing is there's the map of the lots, and within that are the 4 parcels. We are going to, along the red lines, there's a 6-foot ornamental fence along the front part on 143rd Street. We plan on maintaining that and repairing it as needed. If you look on the right-hand side, there's a small T, that's a turnstile that'll be allowing access to and from the parking lot. The green lines will be on the outside will be black vinyl chain link fence that will be 8 feet tall. And then along Parkdale, there'll be ornamental fence that will be 8 foot tall and 8 foot tall gates that will be automated. The yellow will be an ornamental fence that goes between our visitor lot and our reserve lots. And what we'll do is our employees will have access to the lots, and then they'll exit by foot through the turnstiles and then enter through the turnstiles. And that will provide, the fence is damaged. You can see some of the pictures that are damaged. We plan on the blue areas along the top, putting those tall emerald green plants so that it hides the fence, because it's part of the code. And then the other ones will be the ornamental fences, will be newer fences. That's what we'd like to be able to do. We talked with Councilman Casey and with Austin, and I met with I talked with one of the planning people last week who said that we really would rather have a 6-foot fence. We checked with our vendor because these things take a long time for lead time. So the 8-foot fence is already being shipped. It'll be here this week, and we were just trying to get the permit done to replace the fence. This is kind of what it'll look like when we're done. We're trying to make it look nicer. If you look around the property, we've done a good job with the other pieces of property we've had, make them look more like a park, sort of like an enjoyable park. The neighbors use them for like picnics and for walking their dogs and those sort of things. So that is what we would like to be able to do. We put in the permit, not knowing that there was a limitation on the fence. I put in the permit because I knew we were going to be replacing more than 50% of material. So we wanted to do that. And you can see there's some damages on the aprons that we want to repair.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you've got a planting strip, looks like some ornamental grasses in that. You have a piece of clip art with some arborvitae, so that's going along there. Super. So we're really just looking at the difference between 6 foot and 8 foot, right?
Yes, ma'am. That was the
Super.
the challenge. And
Okay.
the person from planning said they didn't have an issue with the green on the back, the chain link fence. He was more concerned about the ornamental fence along Parkdale, but unfortunately that had to be custom made. And like I said, we're kind of committed into that right now. If we can get in a variance on that, that would be appreciated.
Understood. Okay, Mr. Raymond?
Yes, so we met with the team of PPG, Councilman Casey and I, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And we are in favor of the variances. They walked us through the plan. They're investing a significant amount of money into this, and also into the neighborhood. So, yes, we do support the variance. Councilman Casey was not able to make it today. He had another meeting, emergency meeting,
Sure.
so.
Okay, appreciate you speaking on his behalf, but it sounds like Councilman Casey was on site and did the walkthrough, so has personal knowledge of what's happening, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Super, great. Do we have correspondence, Ms. Coulomb?
No, I don't think so.
Councilman didn't send anything?
I don't see anything.
Okay, that's fine. We have a statement, so that's okay. All right. Was it Mr. Lowell? Okay, do you want to speak on his behalf?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is Xavier Bay representing City Planning. I do have correspondence from Nate Lowell, the city planner for this area. And the real push was for proposing a 6-foot fence as opposed to 8-foot fence on Parkdale Avenue, really to keep in line with just, because there's an existing about 6-foot fence there. So really, we want to keep all the public facing sides a little bit lower in height to really just kind of feel more of the pedestrian experience. That's the main comments we have.
Okay, I think we can appreciate that, but I also understand the cost hardship, given the fact that it's a custom-made ornamental. And so they went with an 8 rather than a 6, so it is has high opacity. Mr. Martin, how many turnstiles are you using?
We're going to be using 2 turnstiles.
2 turnstiles.
Madam Councilman, if you see, there's a black T by the yellow line that goes from
Got
left
it.
to right.
Yeah.
And there's another turnstile. There apparently was one at some point in the past because we're using an existing sort of a platform for the one that's on the right-hand side. There's a ramp on the sidewalk right there. So we're going to repair the pad, and it'll be a black turnstile as well, similar to the fencing material. So it'll be black and ornamental turnstiles, both of those.
Are they powder coated aluminum?
Yes.
Okay, and then you did say that the chain link that you intend to use is also coated black,
Yes.
is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Great, all right.
And I
Go ahead.
talked with the Nathaniel Law a couple times last week about this, and I told him we were going to try to see if it was possible to stop the progress, but we ordered the fences probably 6 weeks ago when we started the process, because that's how long we're trying to get it done before winter.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're mid-October already, so got it, okay. Okay, we'll go, Ms. Wilson, you have any questions?
Not at this time, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Madison, any questions?
Not at this time, Madam Chair.
Super, Ms. Olser? Great, Ms. Roca?
Yes, just to the appellant, if you could just speak a little bit more to the hardship. I understand you're gonna face a hardship that you already ordered fencing materials for the 8-foot fence. So please provide more testimony, because I agree with the city that this existing 6-foot fence that you have on Parkdale is more aesthetically pleasing than an 8-foot fence would be to the pedestrian profile. So provide some more testimony as to why you could not, or it's a hardship to you to go with the 6-foot fence in that area versus the 8-foot.
So, I mean, I'm sure the amount of money that we're spending on this project is around $450,000 for the new fence.
Oh, we're losing your volume, Mr. Martin.
I'm sorry.
We
And
lost you.
yeah, so we're spending about $450,000 for the fencing, and we're looking to see what it would cost if we were not able to use the existing fencing, or if we can modify the fencing. So we're not we're going to try to comply with that if it's possible. Part of the discussion we had is we want to make it look nicer. We have also had a number of break-ins in the vehicles, and we're trying to protect our employees' safety as well as a secondary sort of a benefit of making the fences a little more robust and the gates more robust.
Not as a primary concern, but we've had about a dozen incidences over the last 18 months of vehicle thefts or break-ins in that parking lot as well.
I suspected as such, but no one had testified to that fact thus far, so wanted to hear it from you. I appreciate the additional testimony. Thank you.
Right, we appreciate that. Mr. Martin, follow up to Ms. Roca's question. Should we not grant the variance? Should you not be able to use the 8 foot that's already in the pipeline? And you have to stop and reorder, just give us a statement as to additional costs, time delays, and the financial hardship related to those construction delays.
Well, we would most likely not be able to finish the project this year. It took us 6 weeks to get the original gates and fencing made. So that would mean it would go into next year. The project would go into next year. We would try to do the chain link fence, which seems to be, the planning doesn't have a concern with the chain link fence. So we would try to do that. And then we would end up looking at what the cost would be to either modify or to get new fencing.
Okay, super. All right, any further questions? Any further comments? You comfortable, Mr. City Planning?
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave the decision to you, but the main push for us is really because it's residential is like directly adjacent to this property.
Right.
And just to keep the aesthetic less
Are you
institutional.
pleased with the landscaping they've used?
Oh, yeah, we don't have an issue at all with the proposed plans for all the other sides of the parking lot. Our main
Okay.
concern is just the public facing.
Yep, got it. Okay, super. I think perhaps that might be offset by the safety of the personnel and the cars in the lot. Perhaps. Okay, hearing no other further questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Vanison, would you like to take this one?
Madam Chair, a motion to approve the variance request for calendar number 24-166, 67, 68, 69, based on the testimony provided today.
Super, could I have a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Ms. Holzer for the second, we'll call the vote, please, Ms. Copeland?
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Spade?
Yes.
Calendar numbers 167 through 166 through 169 are granted. They will be ratified next Monday. We will send the appellant a letter, but he can also feel free to contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
And thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen. Good to see you, Mr. Raymond, again. Gentlemen, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Bye-bye.
thanks for riding out the morning with us.
I'm just glad you
problem.
weren't annoyed after
Had
the
a little
last guy.
excitement today, so, Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Goodbye.
All right, do we have an appellant present for 24-141?
Oh, there we go. Looks like a Brazilian intelligence. Sorry, I'm thinking that wrong. Madam Chair, I do see a hand raised.
Okay, all right. We'll proceed with 24-141 then. I guess we might have somebody.
Our final case is calendar number 24-141. This is at 14601 Coit Road. Tricia Zach, owner, proposes to establish use as a residential facility for 5 occupants in a D1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, which there are 2. This case was postponed from September 16th at the request of the appellant due to unforeseen circumstances. No testimony was taken at that time. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson from the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'll go ahead and swear in everyone who is present for this matter. Not seeing anyone in the room. Is there anyone online present for this?
Yes, Raymond Durant of Resilient Ones, RAYMOND DURANT.
All right. And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anyone else wishing to speak in this matter? All right. Hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, Mr. Durant, it's Tricia Zach that's listed on our agenda. Are you acting on behalf of her?
Yes, she should be online. She's saying that it may not be unmuted. She is here though.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I do see 2 call-in users. I would advise the call-in users to press *6 and attempt to unmute.
Okay, did you hear that? If you're
Hello.
calling in, okay, great.
Hi, my name is Sister Zach. I'm the owner of the property under Zach Management Inc., and I am present.
Okay, Ms. Wilson, you want to go ahead and do the oath for Ms. Zach?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right
Yes, ma'am.
hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. My name is Tricia Zach, TRICIA, last name Zach, ZAK. My address is 1011 Appaloosa Lane, Rosharon, Texas, 77583.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, super. We'll take history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. There are no variances on file for the address. We did find in our Records Administration Office that in 1919, permit was issued to direct a dwelling and a garage. 1921, a permit was issued to erect a 1-story addition. 1977, a permit was issued to erect a fence. And then in the more recent history, Madam Chair, we do not see anything that's relevant.
Okay, super. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Super, great. All right, Ms. Zach, Mr. Durant, which one of you is going to be the spokesperson?
Mr. Durant.
All right. And sir, what is your relationship to this project?
I am the owner of Resilient One's adult care facilities.
Okay, what's it called again?
Resilient One's adult care company.
Resilience. Okay. All right. All right, so we postponed this for you.
Yes, ma'am. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. So you've got 2 variances you're seeking. So please tell us what you want to do as it relates to these 2 variances.
One, myself and my family has done adult care facilities since the start of it in 2003. We've done it for over 20 years. This is a 3-bedroom home, so I'm only looking to house only three clients at this time. Again, we're here to rehabilitate and bring them back into the society itself. Looking at providing 3 wholesome meals and a snack per day. My food is a little different. I do get my food from Iowa. I'm able to get it from some of the biggest retailers there to make sure my clients eat steak, so to say. And then also I do work for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So I do possess lots of opportunities for them to get them on things like SNAP and things like that to ensure their success in the world.
Okay, tell us the ages and the gender of these 3 adults you're hoping to house.
I'm looking to more so do women. I'm moving towards women in a Greater Cleveland area. Woman, and then I'm not looking to do males at this time. If that changes, I would absolutely give an opportunity to reach out and let you guys know. But I'm looking to only house women.
Okay, and their ages?
50s to 70s, I would say. My average client in Akron right now, I think the youngest I have is 40.
All right. And are they ambulatory, able to function without assistance?
Yes, all of my homes are high functioning. We do provide them with tools and audits for them to be successful, whether it's haircuts and things of that nature. But they are all high functioning. Zero, no, nothing, no criminal background. And then also just the ability to, move around the house. That's the one thing that I look for and to effectively communicate. No drug use, of course, and yes.
All right. So are they disabled? Do they have mental health issues? What exactly is
Mental health issues and minor disabilities. It could be more so mental, I would say. That's the clientele that I deal with now.
Okay. All right, talk to us about your staffing and your hours.
My hours range from 7 to 11 and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also, I will have cameras in all of my homes. I do have cameras in the common areas, just so I'm able to see them as well. Each house I visit on a daily basis in the evening. I do have currently have 3 employees, 2 in Akron and then 1 in the Cleveland area.
All right, and what's your staffing going to be at this particular house?
7 to 11, and then 6 to 8 for one person. And then I actually work down the street from there. So during my lunch, I'll probably go by and make sure that everyone's good to go and if they have any appointments or anything like that.
Okay. So 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., one person staff, and then 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., one person staff.
Yes, and that's just to ensure that we're abiding by the, coming in and out of the house at all times. One thing that I have found with doing this business is, sometimes people have visitors and things like that, just to earn their trust and be able to communicate with them effectively until they understand how my processes may work, because I am in a different. I'm not in Akron. I'm very much known in the Akron area. So when they see me, when people see me, they will know, the expectations and the standards of Shepherd's Horizon Resilient Ones.
Okay. I'm sure. So that one staff member per shift or one staff member total?
One staff member per shift, 2 shifts with a break in.
Yep, and then myself. There won't be a day that they won't see me Monday through Sunday, just to come by and just to check on my clientele and to ensure that.
Mr. Duran, I think we're curious to know if your shift is 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then 6 to 8 p.m. What's going on between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. and then 8 p.m. to 7 a.m.? We got some gaps there, so what's happening?
Well, the gap there is from one, cooking all of their meals for breakfast and lunch, and spending the time doing the common areas and character care. Necessarily, we're supposed to be upwards to 6 hours per day for a person, but I also, come in there in the middle, probably on my lunch, like around this time, 12 to 1, I usually would go by, see how everyone doing, making sure that there's not any appointments or anything like that. Because again, I actually work on Coit, so this seemed very feasible for myself.
Okay. But there is no staff person on site 8 p.m. until 7 a.m. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. Yes, this is not a 24-hour service.
Okay. All right. Everybody clear on that?
8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Nobody's there.
Correct. Yep. Okay. Okay. So these people have to be pretty fully functioning because they're obviously going to be in charge of fun ringtone. So are they gonna be doing their own laundry and making their own beds and in charge and responsible for the housekeeping in the house, or how does that work?
We do the laundry. We do laundry. I'm sorry, I missed the last piece of that. I was receiving a call.
Laundry, other housekeeping, changing their
Yes.
bed, just
Yes.
those other things that are life skills.
Absolutely. I do have an audit process. So for anything in the room, as far as what a room should look like, my employees will have a handbook, and they will every person that I hire go through that handbook, and they follow those steps, and the room should look like that before they leave. Each client, we enable them, but we also do our own daily checks. I'm very standardized in how I run the business, how we do everything. I have a manufacturing background, and I've brought it to people in living.
Okay. All right. Any correspondence, Ms. Kukla?
We do have correspondence from Anthony Hairston. This was back at our last hearing date.
Yeah.
It states that himself, along with the CDC, Amigos, has not had any engagement with the property owner proposing this residential facility. Spoken to some community members and they are not in support. These types of homes require special attention, and he would ask that the board not grant the variance. We did send this to the appellant, so he could speak to what if there's been any changes.
Super. Yep. Okay, Mr. Duran, as our secretary just read, we have had correspondence from Councilman Hairston indicating non-support of your project, as well as Famicos, the local community development corporation, is also not in support, and that there have not been any community engagement meetings for your project. So can you tell us if that is still the case, or what has happened since you were last here?
I would say that would be the case. Not really understanding having to go. This is my first board zoning appeals in Akron. We necessarily did not have to go through these controls. But I have met a few of the neighbors as I was over there this summer, but I didn't have much necessarily communication on what I was doing. But I told them I tend to necessarily the people in need.
All right, super. I'm inclined to postpone and loop him into the circuit. Okay? Are we on
Before we
board?
do that, can I just ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Duran, is this intended to be your part-time job? Do you have a full-time employment outside of this, running this facility?
I do. I work for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, helping people in need as well.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm gonna follow up to Ms. Roca's question. This is a pet peeve of mine. Do you have a business plan in place for this, drafted and a presentation?
Not on this current computer, but I'm able to absolutely present one.
Okay, all right. All right, any other further discussion?
I think that my question would be more to the property owner around the hardship. So if the variance were not granted, is there feasible use of the property otherwise? And this would be to Ms. Zach.
The property has been occupied by a single family since 2019, I believe. Around summer of 2019. So that tenant has recently relocated somewhere else. And I have been working with Mr. Durant on possibly making this something that can benefit the community over just renting it out, considering the amount of properties that are abandoned in the community, the amount of issues in the community.
Ms. Zach, are you aware that if this variance is granted, that it runs with the property so that it would be someone else could come in and use this as a residential facility if if Mr. Duran no longer has his facility there, are you aware that you're changing the use of the property from residential to, or I mean, from, a normal residential property to essentially a business?
Yes,
In
and
per-
then I
in
also am,
perpetuity. Yeah, in perpetuity.
sorry?
I don't know if you heard, Madam Chair, but you'd be changing it in perpetuity, so forever.
Okay, and I do apologize. The portion of the application that I was going over and reading was that it could be switched back over. You're saying this, once this zoning happens, it cannot be switched back over to a residential. Correct?
Ms. Leonard, on the call?
Yeah,
Ms. Leonard, if you could, maybe, if we're wrong, if you could please correct us, but that's my understanding, that it runs with the property.
unless she seeks another variance.
Yeah.
Unless she.
Yeah.
They're allowed to do single family.
Go
She
ahead,
could-
Ms. Leonard.
Yeah, so it runs in perpetuity until she or another owner, applicant, establishes a different use. And that different use could either go back to, single family, two family, whatever the zoning is, or, if it's for another non-conforming use, they would be back to you in, front of this board for, a new non-conforming use, but they can go back to just being used as a resident, not as a residential facility at any time.
And Ms.
It
Leonard,
just-
and that wouldn't require additional action from us, it would just be automatic then? If
They would submit a permit to change the use back to, I don't know what the current use is single family, two family, instead of a residential facility. And that's because they would need the proper rental registrations from Department of Building and Housing.
Okay, thank you.
Super. Okay, Ms. Zach, we wanted to make sure that that was clarified for you as the property owner, so you know what you're essentially signing up for here, okay?
Thank you very much.
Certainly, okay. All right. I'm inclined to postpone this and get him in with a city planner and go through the process of meeting with council, CDC, and community engagement meetings. Anyone else have comments on that?
I agree, I mean, no one has had an opportunity to review this from the community perspective, so
Right.
I would.
And we have,
Though I think we postponed at the appellant's request.
correct, we
before, so-
postponed at the appellant's request, yes. And we have the letter from councilman, so, Mr. Duran, we're going to postpone you to a future date. Mr. Bay from City Planning will be putting in the chat the contact information for the city planner you need to talk to. You're gonna have to take the initiative on this, but it sounds to me like you've got that entrepreneurial spirit and you're a go-getter. So I have no doubt that you'll take the initiative to contact the city planner. You're also gonna wanna contact the Councilman Hairston's office and get meeting with him, and also with FAMICOS, which is the Community Development Corporation for your neighborhood. You don't want to come back to us until you have met with council, with the CDC, and there has been a community engagement meeting, all right? We're gonna go 60 days.
Yes, that would be the middle of December.
Okay.
December 6th.
Okay. We're gonna move you to December 16th to give you 60 days to accomplish all those tasks. Please come back with a business plan and a slide deck presentation. You can send that in so it can be part of your presentation that gets put on the screen. Specifically, we've had a lot of group homes. And so we're coming down with some kind of guidelines on these things that we'd like to see before we decide. We're gonna want some professionally drafted site plans and floor plans, and on those floor plans, we're gonna wanna see space planning, which is gonna include your furniture placement, the size of the beds, the number of occupants per room, the closets, and, whatever common spaces you're gonna use. I ran off a lot of stuff. Is that all clear to you?
Absolutely. I have just about everything with that. You said business plan, meet with Ariel Washington. I got her contact information. You would like a slide deck, a slide deck of each home, each room, and the space planning portion of it, and then how many occupants per room.
Super. Most important and key to this is your community engagement meeting. Okay?
Absolutely. So with that community engagement meeting, is that just going door to door?
That's gonna be,
Or-
that'll be something that the planner will help you coordinate with, also with the council's office, and probably your key contact for that meeting is gonna be your, whoever you will be working with at FAMICOS, the CDC. Because they're your liaison typically with your neighbors.
Perfect. So
Okay.
I will skip that schedule. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and doing this as well. I really appreciate it.
Could I say one thing just for the applicants, if he's still on?
Mr. Duran, are you still there?
Yep. Yes.
So an email was sent to him on September 17th. It did include Councilman Hairston's email, so he has that email to start with. He wants to start that conversation.
Okay.
And also there's a copy of Councilman Hairston's email, and his phone number is on there.
Okay.
So he
All right.
he can start that.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Duran, I have every confidence that you're gonna make this happen. And we'll see you back on December 16th, okay?
I appreciate you all.
Super.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day, Ms. Zach. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right. Lovely. Moving on to old business. We have number 1, 3 through 8, and then number 10. Without objection, board?
No objection.
Without objection.
No objection.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Good to hear a little voice chiming in. All right. No affirmations or requests to reschedule. Anything else? Okay.
No, I'll send you out the holiday schedule that we get from City of Cleveland.
Yes.
So
The
that
official
you
holiday
can see
schedule.
The rest of the holidays for the year.
Okay.
So that we won't have an issue.
All right, super. I jokingly told Liz I'm gonna go old school and get us a regular calendar with the holidays on it, so everyone can sign in their absences and recusals as well. Let's see, let's go to, where's our next agenda here? October 21st. All right. All right, October 21st. Anybody absent?
I will be absent.
All right. All right, October 21st, Ms. Holzer will be absent. Do we have anyone who needs to recuse themselves? All right. Should anything change, please make sure you get email to Liz by close of business Wednesday. Is that good for you? All right, super. Any word on offsite meeting for us? Yeah.
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. All right, so we're in the works on that, folks. And if you didn't see my, my comment in that thread of, Mr. Madison reaching out to everyone, which was nice initially on your part, sir. So we're in the works of trying to get clearance so we can do an offsite lunch, much like last year. And so once Liz gets that, we'll going out, that will include staff. Okay. All right. Social, no business discussion, no discussion of BOZA or city planning or any other city business. So we're clear. All right. We're adjourned.